What is going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you the quarterfinals for the APA Little Cup League, and we are up against Zombie Captains, who we already beat in week 11, I believe, of the season, and I know you guys have already seen the title, and I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it from the beginning. I actually lost and I got hacked out horribly, so I'm not going to be one of those people who gets hacked and just doesn't upload the battle. But either way, I mean, this is just kind of one of those things that it's just a whole lot of unfortunate, and once I get into the battle, you will see why. So anyway, the team that I am bringing against Zombie is different from last time. Last time I was really focused on feeding Bumblebee kills to try to get it to the MVP, so basically the most kills in the entire league, but unfortunately Axu did end up overtaking it. However, by virtue of the vote, Bumblebee became the MVP of the league overall, so I mean a little bit of a win there. But either way, this team I am bringing is actually focused on winning this matchup and not just feeding Bumblebee kills, and has a Kebia, Cutiefly, a Spadef, like a little bit of attack, Natu, a bulky, speedy Sandygast, a bulky, speedy Bonsly, a Z Krogunk, and a Scarf Krabby, just because, I mean, Krabby against Zombie's entire team does so freaking well. And I mean, look at the team that he brought. He brought his only water resist in his Tentacruel. So, well, I mean Sunkern, but I don't really count Sunkern. But I mean, basically, Krabby looks like it can do a whole heck of a lot of damage against him. And like I said, I do end up getting hacked out at the end. But, I mean, it's still a good battle up to that point, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm leading with my Bonsly, as I just want to get my rocks up. I mean, it's my dedicated lead, and Bonsly has done so well for me. It is able to take that Earthquake and get back up to full health against the Roggenrola. And now I'm just going to go for the Rock Tomb, because maybe I can explode on this thing. I don't have, unfortunately, I don't have the Thief on it this time. I opted for Explosion instead to try to wear down the Timber, as it was something that could take a hit from my Krabby. Then I'm going to go straight into my Sandygast and fire off an Earth Powers. I know I should be able to, well, I will be able to outspeed this Roggenrola as he goes into his Snubble. And now, hindsight 2020, like, I'm looking at this game, you'll see, I'm just going to play through this and then I'll go back to this turn. But I will be able to knock out the Snubble. Snubble will not be able to do much of anything. The damage revealed that he was not a bulky set, he was offensive. So I mean, I could have potentially shored up on that thing, but I didn't want to risk a random Z move. I'm going to sack my Bonsly to this Rattata at this point, as he will knock me out with a Crunch. I mean, he missed the first one, didn't matter, as he did hit the second one, but this does allow me to go straight into my Krogunk, and quite frankly, I'm not messing around. I'm just going to go straight for the Vacuum Wave, because I am a special attack boosting nature, so I will knock out this Roggenrola on the switch, and I knew that there was really nothing he could do to fully take advantage. He is going to be able to go into Swoobat at this point, and I'm just going to go into my Natu, as it is my reliable, it's my Swoobat switch-in. So I will be able to take whatever hit as he actually goes for Defog. And now I'm going to double into the Cutiefly, see what he wants to try to do as he goes into his Tentacool. And this works out really, really well for me, because I do have the Kebia Berry, so I will be able to most likely 2-hit KO this thing with Psychic, as he has the Pyappa Berry, so we both have the Resist Berries. And now I'm thinking that he might overpredict me trying to go for the Psychic again, so I'm just going to go straight for that. Maybe he tried to go into the Rattata, predicting the Psychic, but I didn't bother with that. I just went straight for the Psychic, and it does end up knocking out his Tentacle as he goes into his Woobat. I'm like, maybe I can get damage off. Nope. Scarf Woobat once again. So yeah, I mean, like, everything can take a hit. I should be in a pretty good position. Krabby is going to come in here and either get a kill or at least get really, really good damage off on his team. He goes into his Timber. Unfortunately, it's not quite a 2-hit KO, but this does allow me to go straight into my Krogunk, and I will be able to take the knockoff, and then I'm going to try to sub up, and maybe he wants to go into Woobat to try to eat up the Mach Punch or the Fighting Move or something like that. But nope, he does just stay in with his Timber, goes for Drain Punch. It does break my sub, and so yeah, now I'm just going to go straight for the Sludge Wave, claim my kill, gets rid of the Timber, and I'm not wanting to give up my Krogunk just yet, because he still does have the Rattata. So I'm going to go straight into my Sandygast, sack that thing off, as Krabby can take a hit from Scarf Woobat, and I will be able to knock that thing out in one hit. Natu obviously can, and I want to save the Krogunk, just in case the Rattata becomes an issue, because I will always be able to one-hit KO that thing. I'm going to go into my Natu and fire off a Dazzling Gleam, predicting the Rattata to come in, as it does, and I am able to knock that out with a little bit of special attack investment that was guaranteed, at least I'm pretty sure it was, and now Woobat comes in, and I'm in a position, I am just going to go straight for the Dazzling Gleam as he goes for the Air Slash, and yeah, you guys can already see what is happening. Like, he's Scarf Woobat with Air Slash, I have a full health Natu that can take 2 hits. I have a full health Krabby that can take a hit, and unfortunately, Krogunk goes down in 1 hit regardless of whether or not I went for the sub, so the sub play did not come back to really affect the game at all, but I do flinch the first time. This is going to force me to roost up. Maybe he'll miss an Air Slash or something, but I go for the roost, and now I'm going to have to roost again so that he's not able to 2-hit KO me, and like, this is just kind of a crappy situation because he now has Scarf Air Slash and I'm at the mercy of flinches. I am going to go ahead and roost up all the way back up to 100%. And now that I am back at full, I know I can take 2. I'm going to go for the Dazzling Gleam once again to try to 2-hit KO this thing. And I flinch again, so this is starting to look really bad. As he Air Slashes, and if I flinch again, that's going to suck, but luckily I do break out. And now I'm just not going to try to keep Natu in, keep roosting up. I'm just going to go into my Krogunk, sack that thing off, go into my Krabby. I live 1 hit guaranteed if it's not a crit, and I will be able to knock this thing out in 1 hit, but wouldn't you know it, he does flinch me. And he also never misses an Air Slash, so Krabby is going to go down as well to that, and now it's all up to Natu. And because I unfortunately do not have as much health as I would like, I will not be able to roost all this thing that well, and he will be able to 2-hit KO me with Air Slash, and that's how we end up losing the game. That's how we get knocked out, just by getting flinched. I mean, I had 2 win cons. I had my Natu and my Krabby, both of whom lived hits from Swoobat and would have been able to beat it 1v1 if not for the flinches, but that's how it goes. And I'll be honest, like, that really sucks. Like, that's an atrocious way to lose a perfect season, and it's just like, I mean, that's moms for you. I mean, I was definitely the best team. I was the best coach with the best team in the league. I went undefeated, and yeah, I mean, I just end up getting haxed out at the end of the season, which really, really does suck. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, Joel and I talked about this. This is why we're not like complaining about the playoff format because, I mean, that's exciting. Like, people enjoy watching the playoffs. Like, that's where the excitement comes from. But that's where we kind of have, like, well, that's where it bums us out that, like, the best player with the best team can play right, can make all the right plays, bring all the right mons, and still end up losing the game. And I mean, like, after situations like this, I always try to look back and see what I could have done differently. So for those of you that question why I will always 100% sacrifice differential to have a guaranteed win, this is why. And like I said, I always try to look back on the game and figure out plays that I could have done differently. Like, was there a way that I could have guaranteed myself the win as opposed to leaving it up to hacks? And the first turn that I came to was the turn where Sandygast was in on Snubble, where Snubble came in, I did 60% to it, and then instead of going for the shore up, I just go ahead and knock that thing out with an Earth Power. And I was thinking to myself, okay, well, maybe if I had shored up with Sandygast, like, had I just tried to shore up on the Snubble, I would have been at a higher amount of health, I could have taken 2 Air Slashes, and I would have been able to Shadow Ball and knock the Woobat out. This was the first play, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized that no, this was the right play to make, because Snubble with Intimidate, I mean, turns out he wasn't Intimidate, but with the potential of Intimidate on Snubble or even Rattled, if I went for the knockoff with, like, my Krogunk or my Krabby, like, if I went for any of those moves, Snubble could get +1 and be an issue to the team, like, if I'm not able to just take that thing on. So I do stand by taking a little bit of damage with my Sandygast in order to take out the Snubble, because that just puts knockoff that much more spammable. It puts Krabby in a much better position to win the game, so I do stand by that play. Next up is what's the next play? The next play is when I sacked off Sandygast at this point, when I had my Krogunk in against Woobat, and I sacked off Sandygast. I was thinking, okay, because as we see, Sandygast ends up taking a hit from Woobat and living, but at the same time, I actually still stand by this play as well. I mean, hindsight 2020, I still would have made this play just because Krogunk, I needed Krogunk because otherwise without that thing, Rattata could have been a potential issue with with return, with quick attack. Like, it could have actually been a problem for me to go up against. And Sandygast was not reliable against the Woobat because of the flinching. Krogunk was still needed for the Rattata. Natu and Krabby were both my win cons at this point, so I do stand behind the Sandygast play. And finally, instead of just attacking, well, I guess I could have attacked at this turn as well when I was at 87%, but I really wanted to get back up to full health, and ultimately I'm not able, I don't believe, yeah, I'm able to get another roost off there, but I wouldn't have been had I gone for the Dazzling Gleam. So, I mean, ultimately, if you have one mon that gets, if you have one win con that gets haxed out, yes, that absolutely sucks, but there might have been something you can do to play around it. But in instances like this where I gave myself 2 good win cons and both of them got flinched out, honestly, there was nothing I can do. So, I mean, 12-0 record, and I get haxed out in the first round of playoffs. I mean, best team does not always win, so I mean, that really sucks, but what can you do? So, hope you guys enjoyed watching nonetheless. Thank you for supporting me this season. Definitely more Little Cup to come in Gen 8, but I think I'm done for Gen 7. This leaves a very sour taste in my mouth from Gen 7, but regardless, again, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx, signing out. Why not? See you guys.